Here we go now. Let's get it rolling. This is going to be one of those ones. It's your boy G Bush in here in the Barbershop. Welcome on in wherever you at, all over the stratosphere. We got a great show planned for you today, and we're going to get down to the get down. I don't think anybody has addressed this topic. I don't think anybody has approached it in the way that I'm going to approach it. And I don't think people has been impactful as the way I'm going to approach this topic, because I don't think that this is something that's going anywhere. And I think there's some stuff that we need to unpack and get straight so we can move forward with what we want to do as one community. I'm going to talk about the war between Browns fans, the perceived war between Browns fans and Shedeur Sanders fans. If you go on the internet, in every comment section, there's a battle. If you go in every comment section or on Twitter, whether it's a YouTube video, there is a consistent theme that there's a basic difference between the two camps. I'm going to break down what that is. I'm going to make sense of it. And I'm going to give you a plan as to why I think moving forward, they two can honestly get along. But unless we break it down in the way that I'm going to break it down here, not going to work. Let's see if I can bridge the gap right here on this episode of The Barbershop.
Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barbershop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture, it's lifestyle, it's sports. And it's now the Barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at GBush91 on Twitter.
Welcome on into the Barbershop. It's G. Bush. We ready to go. I hope you have a great start to your weekend, and this is the best way to kick your weekend off right here in the Barbershop. So get your coffee, get whatever you need. If you need a little tea, if you're a tea drinker, or if you just like the Red Bulls and some of the energy drinks, I got me a little something right here. I got something to keep the car warm a little bit as we get through this Saturday. I want to appreciate everybody that's in here all around the world taking a look at the Barbershop, and I appreciate you and all of the support, whether you agree or disagree. The Barbershop is the place for sports, music, and culture, and we have a great time over here having these conversations. We're going to get to a lot of things today. So this is one of them shows, man. I want your interaction. We're going to try to get to a lot of comments because I think this is kind of our roundtable type topic that I'm going to try to break down, and I'm going to really try to dissect here. So I want your commentary. Super chats are available as always. We get to those off top. We make sure that you are heard. And this is a conversation that I think needs to be had. And like I said, in the open, I don't think people having this conversation and are very unrealistic about what's going on with this quote unquote supposed war between the Browns fan base and the Shedeur Sanders fans. So we'll get to that as well. We will definitely get to some things that Nathan Zagura said about Browns training camp. Training camp is a little tougher now. I want to acknowledge that, and I think it's for the better. We'll take a look at this. I was on Sports for CLE, which is cleveland.com, and I do that weekly on Friday. We'll have some clips from there. Also, we'll get to some clips on Sports for CLE. Tom Pelissero talks about the progression in which Shedeur Sanders could be getting some reps and get some playing time. We'll get into that and talk about that a little bit as well, because I think there's some people may not see it, but let me throw it out there. What happens if he is getting minutes? What if he's already getting some minutes, but we just don't know about it yet? We'll dive into that. And Jim Schwartz spoke at OTAs. Jim Schwartz is the first time I've heard him talk in a while. He talked about Mason Graham. Excuse me. And the thing I'm thinking about this is he said one or two things that I was kind of alarmed at when it came to Mason Graham's. We'll unpack that and we'll talk about whether or not he's on track to be progressing to being a day one starter, because I've already said he needs to be a day one starter if the Cleveland Browns take a guy as a defensive tackle in the top 5. But without further ado, let's get into our topic and give me some runway to get this thing started. So right now on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're at, there's always this unconscious battle. I wouldn't say unconscious. It's more of a subliminal war between what people perceive as Browns fans and Shedeur Sanders fans. And the Browns fans have taken a stance that some of the people that support Shedeur or his fan base is not real Browns fans. They're not real Browns fans. They only support Shedeur. And of course, when you say that, both sides take offense to it. On one end, the Cleveland Browns fans saying, you guys aren't real Browns fans. They're upset because they're saying, why aren't you supporting everybody? We support the Browns. You come into the situation and you're supposed to support us. That's what Team Shedeur is on. And the other side is saying, what do you mean you're going to make me just support? I came here with him. I showed up with Shedeur. Like, what are you talking about? I can't root for my guy. And so what happens is we get two different groups of people with two different mindsets, and then they dig in. And once the digging in happens, it's a wrap, because then ain't nobody backing down. Now it's like, you can't make me do nothing. You ever try to make a grown man do something? Right? Let me give you an analogy. I'll give you an analogy, but before I do that, let's get to a little clip I got here, first and foremost, off the top. I was on B Watch. Shout out to B Watch. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. He's a good brother. He represents the Colorado nation. He reached out to me a little bit ago, about a week ago, and I had a great talk with him, man. We talked about faith. We talked about family. We talked about sports. We talked about X's and O's. Just a good dude, and had a really good conversation. That clip is up on my page on YouTube, and it's also on his. So I encourage you, if you haven't watched it, make sure you go out and support him. Hit the like button. I had a great time talking to him. I'm looking forward to talking to him again. But in this conversation, I kind of alluded to it to kind of set this topic up. I kind of alluded to this when I was talking to him. And he had asked me point blank, you think we're going to all get along? And I gave him a little quick answer. And let's see if you guys vibe what I'm picking up, and we'll come back and elaborate on that a little bit more right here. Other side, you got the Colorado aunties, the uncles, the supporters, the prime people. They went through something traumatic too. They just saw people get slander somebody who they thought didn't do nothing wrong. And people do victory laps on them in real time. And so they have a very big, real distrust of the media, what you're saying and how it's working. They're not going to come up to the Cleveland media and be like, hey, guys, how you doing? Here's Shedeur. Yeah. I know you're going to love him. We'll catch you the first game. That ain't how it worked. They're like, no. We at arm's length distance. Here's how things play off. When you continue to grow and you continue to win football games and you see Shedeur start, and you start to see Shedeur do his thing, and you start to see the Cleveland Browns progress, and you start to understand the people around, you say, I like that Cedric Tillman guy. He throw the ball. Shedeur and him got a connection. Oh, I love the way they was blocking. You see how they picked Shedeur up? Look, at the end of the day, you'll become a family in due time, but you can't microwave that. And again, that was courtesy of B Watts. Make sure you go check that out. And you go give him a like and give him a subscribe. And I compare this, what I was saying right there, this in an analogy. I've been married twice. First one didn't go so well. Second one, living a dream. Beautiful, it's awesome. Everything is great. So I'm talking to some people out there when it comes to family, and I kind of compare the fan bases to family, right? When you get married to somebody, right? When you get married, you're marrying that person, whether it's your husband or your wife. You are invested in your husband or your wife. When you meet people, you get to know them, you get an attachment to them, And then that's when in-laws come into play. That's when you get people that are in-laws, people like the brother-in-laws, the sister-in-laws, the cousins, the uncles, the grandparents on both sides. You're dating or you're marrying your husband or wife. Your in-laws come with your husband and wife. And when you are having dinner on Thanksgiving dinner for the first time, or you are invited to a family cookout, or you are for the first time going to a birthday party for one of your soon-to-be nieces or nephews, you aren't going to be there immediately looking at you like, oh my gosh, we are best friends. No, you're going to go in there and you're going to say, all right, give me the scout report. You tell your wife, hey, all right, your wife gets you together. Listen, my uncle is a little, he get drunk on that Hennessy. Just laugh it off. It ain't that serious. Or you tell your wife, let me tell you something right now. My aunt, she going to ask a bunch of inappropriate questions. She all in your business. Do not take offense to it. Yes, that one over there. Give me the scout report. So when you come into a family and you've been indoctrinated into the family, you understand that you're not going to be able to hit it off top with each other. You just hope to develop a relationship over time. You just hope that, you know what? I didn't really like Garrett. G. Bush is kind of, I thought I had my perception of him was, but you know what? He take good care of Rosie. So because he take good care of our niece or our granddaughter, we like him. You know what? I like that Garrett guy. You know what? When he was at the cookout, he took out the trash and he said, let me make sure y'all good. Do anybody need me to take something out? I can carry something to your car for you. They'd be like, you know what? He ain't that bad. I like him. Your wife, you come over, your mom is in the kitchen cleaning up a little bit after a family outing, and she says, hey, Mrs. Bush, let me help you. Let me help you real quick with the dishes. You need something? You need me to do something? My mom said, oh, I ain't never had that. I ain't never had that before. That's crazy. I like this girl. And you say already, because people get bored, stick with me. They say, what does this have to do with anything? Well, listen, relationships grow over time. You can't microwave a relationship. You can't come to somebody and say, you know what? I demand that you be loyal to something you don't even know about. Browns fandom takes years. You know how you become a fan, a diehard fan of a team? It's only really one way. You either come in on the back of a player that you identify with or like, or you're born into it. No one wakes up and says, that's my favorite team just because. There needs to be an emotional attachment to it. Did your father introduce it to you? Did your father take you to the games? Did your grandfather sit down and make you watch it? What was it? Was it your dad took you to the first Browns game, right? Did your bigger brother play football and he loved the Browns? The reality of the situation is nobody wakes up one day and just says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the Cleveland Browns nation or any other football team, because it takes time. Just like any relationship takes time. And furthermore, when you take a look at the circumstances around Shedeur Sanders, I always explain to people, the Cleveland Browns come from a perspective of, hey, we've had quarterbacks before that was supposed to be the Messiah. You can go back to Tim Couch. You can go back to Johnny Manziel. You can go back to Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield or whoever you want to say. People have been looking for a Messiah forever. And we done had 3 or 4 divorces of quarterbacks that ended badly in the last consecutive 3 years. So what happens is you start to build up defense mechanisms. You start to build up this thing where you have this pride in something because you've been so bad. You got to develop pride in weird things You got to develop pride in, well, listen, as long as I'm going to root for the Browns till the wheels fall off. So I'm going to be super loyal, even though we don't be winning that many games, even though we still need a quarterback, even though I'll be mad half the time at the stuff that my own team does. So it forces you. You ever heard the saying, hey, me and my brother can argue, but ain't nobody on the outside better say nothing about my brother. That's up to me to say it, right? We all heard that. We lived that. So when the Cleveland Browns say, you know what? Shedeur Sanders might be good for y'all, but let me tell you what this is. This Cleveland Browns territory. And in Cleveland Browns territory, you guys are supposed to do X, Y, and Z. It's not the approach. You know why? Because on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Shedeur Sanders fan base is saying it like this. Yeah, we came with Shedeur. We here to make sure he get a fair shot at this competition and to support him through what he just has went through. As you see, as I said in that clip, people perceive that he's been done wrong. People perceive that he's been slandered, that his name has been dragged through the mud by anonymous narrative people. You can't tell me who said what. They're asking questions about his father that are borderline intrusive and out of pocket. They asking about, oh, how does it feel to lose that much money? He's getting prank called on national TV. People is coming out the woodworks just to make content because he gets clicks and slandering them. And even when you talk about the competition and even when you play well on the field, there's always the salt at the end of everything. It's yeah, but it's, I don't know why we got to talk about it. It's this flippant attitude as if you're higher than the player. I don't know why I got to talk about it. You're lucky you get to talk about it. So that attitude that they have, because of what the media they perceive has done since Jump Street, is going to make them arm's length distance. Think about it. Don't nobody, how many, raise your hand. Let me know if I'm crazy. Put a 1 in the chat. Once you think about it like this, once you get past the age of 35, how many new friends do you got? Ain't no new friends past 35 or 40. Can you imagine you come home from work, you tell your wife, hey man, she's like, hey, what do you want for dinner? Listen, whatever you want. She's like, well, you in a hurry? Yeah, I got a call. I'm talking to Tom. You're like, who's Tom? Oh, my friend Tom. You're like, friend? You're 40. You ain't like having no new friends. You mean an acquaintance? You mean somebody you work with? Ain't no new friends. Drake said it best, no new friends. So if all of that baggage and all of that stuff is coming to the table and they're bringing that along, they're not going to just sign up and be emotionally attached to the Cleveland Browns overnight. And my question is, why is that a problem for you? It shouldn't be, right? Case in point, some people could come watch this channel and they say, I'm only here for Shedeur. Oh, that's what's up. Come on and sit down, get a haircut. It's just like what the barbershop is. When my uncle started a barbershop, when my uncles did a barbershop, he had four barbers in here working. All of them had their clientele. Some people came from my Uncle Oliver. Some people came from my Uncle Michael. Some people came for Vernon, and they had a lady in there, Miss Vicky. Some people had their own clientele. But guess what? Just because they had their own clientele and you showed up specifically for my Uncle Oliver, his schedule might have been packed. You got to get up out of here. You ain't trying to spend your whole Saturday in the barbershop. So guess what? You might go to Uncle Mike. You might go to Vicky. You might go over here to Vernon. and you came for somebody, but you left patronizing somebody else. You may come with the intentions of only going to that barber, but the circumstances put it in a way where you came and you said, okay, well, I'm gonna patronize this person. That's how it works in life. So if you come to the barbershop and you say, you know how many people said, I'm only here for Shedeur 1,000 times? Guess what? That's great. Well, come in and listen to me, and hopefully I can convert you to a fan of G. Bush. Why would you be in your feelings? Why would you be, oh, well, get off my channel. Get off my channel if you're only here for Shedeur. And if you don't like the Browns, you can leave too. Bro, that's not mature behavior. I know fan is a root word for fanatics. But listen, I always ask the people in the audience, and I ask them quickly. We'll throw the roll call out. I bet you I'm right on it. Let's see. All the Shedeur fans in the audience. Let me talk to you real quick. All the Shedeur fans in the audience, let me talk to you. Let me know if I'm on the right track here. If you're a Shedeur fan, chances are you started following him either in high school or at Jackson State. Is that correct? Probably. So when he was at Jackson State, did you root for Jackson State to win? Of course you did. Did you attend Jackson State games? Sure. Did you watch Jackson State every chance you got on TV? Yeah. So by default, because he was on the team, you became invested over time in Jackson State and got to know their players and got to know their coaches and got to know the fan base and got to know everything about Jackson State, right? When he went to Colorado after Jackson State, did y'all just stay at Jackson State and say, I'm not following along? No, you followed him to Colorado. You pulled up in Boulder. Not that many brothers in Boulder. Not that the black population is not that high, but guess what y'all did? They call you the CU aunties now, right? The CU grandmothers, the extended family. When you pulled up to Colorado, did you put that black and gold on? Yeah. Did you watch the games nationally like everybody else did? Yeah. Did you make sure that you got to know the other guys besides the Sanders? Sure you did. Because it's the natural progression of building a relationship. And you still probably watch Colorado because Coach Prime is still there. Yes. Follow the logic. Not that difficult. It's not that difficult, people. Follow the logic. Let's get to the Cleveland Browns. All the new Shedeur Sanders fans, all together. Who has the #1 selling jersey? Shedeur Sanders. What jersey would that be? The Cleveland Browns. Would that not by default mean that you are new here and invested in watching the Browns? Yes. Does that mean you're going to watch the Browns on Sunday? Yes, because you want to see what Shedeur is going to do. But guess what? You're not going to grow an attachment overnight. You're not going to jump up and down and say, I love Kevin Stefanski, the ownership. You don't even know the other players yet. And if you were talking about any other thing, you would never want to microwave a relationship because you would think it's unrealistic. It takes time to get to know the fan base. It takes time to get to know who's on the team. It takes time to even see if Shedeur is going to play. But at the end of the day, when he steps on the field and he plays, hopefully if he plays well, does that not mean you're not only here for Shedeur, but you are here to watch and cheer on the Cleveland Browns? But when you pose it and phrase it in different terms, like you should be grateful, the onus is on you. The onus is on you to come over here and be humble. Come over here because we've won so much. Come over here because we are the quarterback whisperers. All it does is turn you and say, no, I'm going to dig in even harder. And as we get to my final point here, which will make a lot of sense, to my final point, and I know people, wherever you at, 1,200 people right now, hit that like button for me. Hit it for me. Let's see if we run them likes up. I need to get that. We need to, let's go. If you telling me, and I ask all Browns fans, and I ask a lot of people this, it's just simple human nature. We've been telling Shedeur from Jump Street, even when it comes to the reps. We'll talk about the reps coming up. We've been telling from Jump Street, we've been saying, Shedeur got to earn it. Shedeur got to earn it. Ain't gonna give it to him. He got to earn it. You got to work for them first team reps. You got to do all the little things. He has to endear himself to the Browns organization. He has to show them that he's worth investing emotionally, physically, all that, financially in Shedeur Sanders. That's what it takes to invest in a franchise quarterback. When you say you're the franchise quarterback, that means you're the face of the organization. You're the most powerful guy. You got the most swing, the most pull. You're going to make the most money. When you are the franchise quarterback of the Cleveland Browns or any other team, that is you. When they watch the Browns, they say, who the quarterback? When they watch the Bills, it's Josh Allen. When they watch the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson. Without a doubt. Nothing goes down without the quarterback being in on it. So that's why they got to make sure when they give you the keys to the Ferrari or the Jaguar or whatever you got, the Maybach, the Range Rover, that you got insurance. That you got a driver's license and you ain't drinking behind the wheel. They want to have some sort of assurances before they give you that. And I ain't got a problem with that. It's a Fortune 500 company. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, it goes two ways. If you're a Fortune 500 company like the Cleveland Browns, you're a company and a business just like anybody else. Whether it's a steakhouse, whether it's a car dealership, whether it's a hotel, you have to make your business marketable, profitable, and customer service friendly. You have to go out and attract new business. You have to go out and put your best foot forward. You have to also earn new fans' trust. You have to earn new fans' dollars. So if you want everybody to submit and get on the bandwagon, you're gonna have to produce just like Shedeur is. So why is that hard to understand? You went 3-14 last year, not knocking you, but it's up to you and what you do, and you winning games, and you making it clear that we welcoming people on in, and we're doing certain things to make sure that we're gonna win some football games, and we got the best interest, and it is gonna be a fair shot. It is gonna be an opportunity for him to play or to earn the job like we said he was in the beginning in the preseason. So for those who are saying you need to just come in, shut your mouth, and hang out, that ain't how it works. It's a business. What if I go to the local steakhouse and they say, well, you lucky I'm serving you this steak. You lucky I served you this steak. You either take this steak right here, this strip steak, or leave it. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You know how many steakhouses in here? You think you're the only game in town? I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and pay taxes. That's it. So there is a thing where, guess what? It goes both ways. It cuts both ways. And at the end of the day, if you want to get to where you want to go, at some point, people will assimilate, because franchise quarterbacks have a very long shelf life. Look how long some of these other quarterbacks is playing. That bit on the Patrick Mahomes, I know it's Mahomes. I'm not saying Shedeur is Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes is the starting quarterback. You already know it. So he ain't going nowhere. So that means if Shedeur can do and have longevity, that means that fan base ain't going nowhere. As a matter of fact, it'll continue to grow. And if you give it a little time, And if you put it in the oven and you let it matriculate, if you marinate it, if you put good seasoning on it, and you put it on 275 low and slow, I promise you that brisket or that pulled pork is going to come out tender. I promise you. Low and slow. But if y'all want to put that brisket in the microwave and then sear it off, it's going to be tough as rubber. And you don't want tough as rubber. Tough as rubber is where we at right now. Tough as rubber is on two opposite ends of the spectrum. It ain't nothing wrong with developing relationships and over time. And my question is, if you are on one end of the spectrum and saying that you believe that Shedeur should earn something over time, that he's not ready, he should earn it, he should do this and that and the third, he should wait patiently. Why wouldn't you understand if another group of people gonna put you on that same track? Yeah, I'm gonna wait to see what y'all do. You gotta earn my respect. You gotta earn my dollars. You gotta earn my attention. Cuts both ways, people. Cuts both ways. And it showed show one of the greatest of all time, The Wire. Oh, in the words of Marlo Stanfield. Oh, so you want it to be one way. It don't go down like that. I ain't asking and begging for nobody's allegiance. If you're here for Shedeur, awesome. Our goal and my goal is to convert everybody to I'm here for Shedeur, the Cleveland Browns, the Barbershop, the Browns community, and that Super Bowl trophy. That's what I'm here for. Because I know how it is. One band, one sound. No championships will be won on opposite ends of the spectrum. And at the end of the day, you support Shedeur, take his lead. Shedeur sitting back, looking around. He's unbothered, unfazed. He's been here before, and he's making every bit of every opportunity to get. Whether second, third, 15 reps, he's unfazed, unbothered, and still producing. So maybe, just maybe, we can all just get to continue to know each other. And then one day, we can be one happy family. See what I did there? Let's get to these doggone tweets. 582 comments. If I got a question for you, hit the like button wherever you're at. Hit the like button wherever you're at. Let's continue to cook. Let's see what we got here. We cooking. It's going to be hard to get to all of this. Let me see. Put this up a little bit so y'all can catch that. Let me get this down. Here we go. Let it rock. We appreciate the super chat. No funny. 12 throwing TDs and others ain't. I'm just saying. That's facts. He been cooking. He gonna continue to cook too. But here's what I'm most proud about is now, because I feel like I was a catalyst, and this platform was a catalyst to come out with the campaign of, no, just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth, man. It don't hurt. Like, if he was balling, he was balling. And let me throw this on here too, because I kind of forgot to mention it. I'm going to give some advice, and I'm not going to say no names to nothing. I'm just not going to say it. Excuse me. For me, as I've been watching since the draft or whatever the case may be, here's one thing that has been sticking in my craw a little bit. And I don't like how certain people will act like they're playing a victim now. So when you talk about Shedeur Sanders, and you could straight up just be like, look, Shedeur, 7-9, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, we get it. You know, we understand that don't count. We understand that the stats is what it is. We get that. But you can't continue that when he does well or does something, you can't continue to throw the extra shade at the end of it and then hope that nobody says nothing to you, because they are going to say something to you. If you're running around talking about the Browns picked them because they felt sorry for them, people is going to get on you. I don't understand what you don't understand about that. If you're running around talking about that was incomplete because his foot was on the line, people is going to get on you. People going to look at you crazy. That's what they're going to do. So I don't know why. And then they say, oh, well, they are so vocal. I'm like, because you're saying stuff that you wouldn't say about nobody else. So if you throwing a little extra shade on the end of it, why do I have to talk about this? This is wild to me. I mean, it's just preseason. And I mean, he's not getting any reps. It's just so crazy to me. Like, they be turning their head, like, they just be in their emotions, like going crazy. And I'm like, look, let me give you a piece of advice. If you don't want nobody in your comment section, all you got to do is this. It's so easy, a caveman can do it. Hey, look, Shedeur Sanders, he looked really good today. He was on the second field. Dylan Gabriel was over here with Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco. I thought he threw the ball really well. You take a look, he had a really, really nice throw in the back of the end zone. You know, he's put some days together where he's really looking like he's progressing, doing his thing, and we're gonna see. Is this performance going to lead to any more reps with the first team? We'll be here to talk about it if that happens. But you can only do what you can do with the opportunities presented to you. We'll see if Shedeur Sanders continues to get better and see how this plays out going into minicamp. Nobody who is talking about Shedeur Sanders would have a problem with that. Where they have a problem is, well, listen, I mean, obviously, he's 5th on the depth chart. I mean, look at it. Dylan Gabriel, all of them are getting first-team reps. He's the only guy that didn't get first-team reps. And to be truthful, he's a 5th-round pick. I mean, guys, he's not a franchise quarterback. I mean, look, he's there for a reason. And to be truthful, the only reason they picked him is because, yeah, they're going to get on you on Twitter. Yeah, they are. They're going to talk to you a little bit. They're going to push back. So it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of press. But just be ready to get pushed. In that case, if you throw an extra on the salt on the game, it is what it is. Just stand on what you're saying and keep it pushing. That's all you got to do. Stand on what you're saying. But people want it both ways. You want to say what you want to, but then play victim like somebody is trying to, like, nah, all you got to do is keep it a buck. That's all you got to do. All right. Now I got that out. Let's keep pushing. Let it rock. I appreciate the super chat. D-Bell. We all want the Browns to win. If Shedeur leaves, we cheer against you. I'm 70. Followed his dad, then Shedeur and Shiloh. See, that's the look. I talked about this before. There's not very many ways you get new fans. No one wakes up and just says, I'm a this person fan. There's only really 2 ways you get grandfathered in. You usually have to grow up with your father, parent, relative, something being influential that's what's on and that's the team they follow, so that's what you follow. Or you get people who follow people from other teams that they followed individually. All I'm saying is those people don't become diehard Browns fans overnight. I don't understand why it's difficult to understand. It's been going this way forever. There are Deion Sanders fans. There are Ken Griffey Jr. fans. There are Michael Jordan fans. There are LeBron fans. There are Magic fans. There are Kobe fans. I'm a Kareem fan. Those fans follow those guys. It's been like that since the beginning of time in sports. We're explaining it. KA, we appreciate the super sticker. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Good show. Love 12. Browns fans act like he is scrub. Gemini SG. There's a lot of people. Here's what I'm going to say, too. There are a lot of, I believe there's a lot of good people who think they even kind of like more crazy than me. There's a lot of people that have been watching Shedeur Sanders for a long time. And they think it's the best thing that could have happened to him going to the Browns. Super excited about him. And think some of them think he should be starting right now, today. There's people out here that in the Browns community that really do rock with Shedeur Sanders. But you guys have to also remember this. There is a level of, in this market, and when you're dealing with a smaller market, there's gatekeepers. And those gatekeepers have platforms, and they're used to saying whatever they say goes, and they're the only voice or outlet to what people are saying. And a lot of times, a lot of what you're saying ain't even necessarily about even Shedeur Sanders. I think it goes deeper than that. I think it goes to the fact that there's a lot of people being contrarian for no reason. It's one of those things where now, I'll give it to you like this. And this is funny how it kind of works. So when you guys, I'll be watching the comments. I'll be all over the comments. When you guys are the Colorado people, they be moving all over the place. They in every comment. They gonna follow you. They gonna listen. They gonna catch up with you. But I'm not gonna say no names. But when certain people that may be in the media that think differently than you about Shedeur Sanders, they put up content. And the way the algorithm works is, if you put a bunch of comments under that, if you put 1,000 comments under that, that sends the algorithm the message, hey, this is hot. This is fire content. We about to show this more. We about to put this out way more. Matter of fact, boost that. Get that out to everybody. You know what happened? Now that content becomes more popular. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You may disagree with what that person said, and that energy that you give of being adamant about that, guess what? Guess what that does? It then encourages those people to continue to write those same different type of questions and that same different type of content, right? So it goes hand in hand. Like, you may hate what a person says, but when you comment on it, all it does is boost it, and then it encourages them to say, well, look at the numbers I got on this one. Maybe I need to keep saying the same things. Maybe I need to continue to be inflammatory. And it leads to an echo chamber of, when they say any publicity is good publicity, right? Let's continue to go on. Let's see. Double D. I don't know how to feel about that. Been a Buccaneers fan since the 80s. Once you put on a jersey, we root for you. The Browns fan, number 12-8, is new to me. See, there are some people that he don't see, he feeling like I'm feeling. I mean, I ain't worried about what they talking about. Let's see. Let's continue to push on. J.A., we appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat. Sanders had significant support from both places, Colorado and Jackson. In the media, Cleveland minimizes his presence, disparages him. Even Cleveland's media is split. We have to support. We have to. I think that might be support. We have something about Shedeur. We are. I'll tell you. Listen, we behind closed doors. I have a lot of conversations about it closed doors. Because, and I try to explain. I explain to people a lot. When people tell me about sports, I've always said sports is a microcosm of society in whole. And in the Black community, we hold certain people at a standard, right? In the Black community, we've always supported the Joe Lewises, the Muhammad Alis, the Bill Russells, the Jim Browns, the people who are, community leaders. And I think a lot of people see Coach Prime is somebody that raised a family that did it the right way, didn't have no troubles, no problems. He's trying to instill confidence in young black men. And when people see that being disparaged, when people see that being torn down, when people see that like kind of, cast aside and like it's some bad thing, people are going to they're going to be in their feelings, and rightfully so. So in a lot of people's feelings, and a lot of people think is, listen, we didn't start this, but everybody got a mom. They said, listen, you better not you better not be a bully. You better not be going around picking on people. But guess what? I show better not ever hear that you running away from somebody hit you, you better stand up for yourself. So I don't understand why people think that they can continue to say certain things. And let me get it twisted. Let me get it straight. We're not talking about your agreement or what it is on the field. But when you asking questions about people's fathers, do you blame your father? I'll be like, bro, you don't even got, you can't. I mean, and in this market, we had a problem with Odell Beckham Jr.'s father. We had a problem, they got a problem with LeVar Ball. Like, listen, man, that's a sore subject. Like, ain't nobody asked me nothing about my father. Like, I kind of got mad at it just to start with. You can't ask me about my dad. What are you talking about? What you talking about? Willis? Hey, Gerard Richardson. Don't nobody care about the Cleveland Browns. Only here for Shedeur Sanders. That's it. Hey, man. Salute. Hey, you see everybody out there? Did G. Bush do backflips and go crazy and jump off the top of the roof? Salute, Gerard. I hope 12 kills it. I hope he crushes it. And then one day, you'll say, G. Bush in 3 years, hey, man, I'm a Browns fan. We got to get this win this week against Pittsburgh. It is what it is, man. Salute. New friends. I'm 42. You and Browns are family. My dad family found me after 20 years of looking. You found me first. You give me a good cut. Yoshidoshi, 2006. That's what it is. I appreciate it. Man, hey, man, you can't run around. But that's alarming. That's alarming if you grown, man, you just got some new friends. You can't just get no new friends. What are you talking about? It's detrimental. Yeah, we about to go hang out. All right. Patrick Williams. I appreciate the super chat. What baffles me is that some of the Cleveland podcasters and media act like the Browns come from a lineage of quarterbacks that took the Browns to the Super Bowl. Cleveland media judge Shedeur like he's replacing an all-time quarterback, all-time great. Yeah. That's what y'all might not like it, but what about what I just said wasn't the truth? Like, come on, bro. On the outside looking in, they're like, what do you mean kneel and kiss the ring? We was talking just 2 weeks ago about Stefanski if he was getting fired or Andrew Berry not being able to draft. We was just talking about that. We fired a bunch of people after last year. Dorsey, offensive line coach, we scored 17 points a game last year. We had the number 2 overall pick. You don't get that unless you're bad. So I think, just my opinion, I don't think we should be running around having loyalty tests. I think we should be like, yo, I always say it like this. I may laugh and do victory laps, but watch this. Even if Shedeur Sanders comes and at one point in time he becomes a starter and becomes a baller, yeah, I'm going to. If the first show out when he becomes a baller and it's in stone, am I going to do a couple victory laps on people that said he was garbage? Sure, but I'm only going to do that maybe once or twice. But after that, I'm just going to come to the table and say, hey, man, come on back here, man. The bandwagon, listen, the bandwagon is always open. Come on back. Everybody miss up a little time. We need as many people as we can to pack that stadium. Even if they was wrong, I'm always open to the bandwagon. I need ball players. One band, one sound. Lawrence, 12 is viewed as a brother, nephew, grandson because a lot have followed from you. I will say that 12 starts and wins the Black Energy and Biz. Shout out to you, Lawrence. I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot too, is people will say, G. Bush, why are you so invested in this? I said, bro, you guys have to understand. And to a certain extent, in the Black community, we have a what we call a collective identity. So it's one of them unwritten rules when you're walking down the street and you see another dude, another brother, you just go, what's up, bro? Just acknowledge, right? That's part of, you know, the collective identity a little bit. It's one of those things, it's a universal Black thing. Hey, what's up, bro? Good. How you doing? And for us, I've been watching Shedeur do his thing since he was a kid. I watched him when he was like 9 or something. So I've been watching him on reality TV since then. You watch him grow up throughout the process, right? And you gravitate to his story and what it is and his family structure. And you've been watching him. So a lot of people think it's just automatically, and somebody said something. This is crazy. It wasn't crazy, but somebody said this. I want to say I seen it in the comment section, and I thought it was actually a beautiful thing. And sometimes, and I'm just trying to kick a little game. Sometimes what annoys me a little bit is in the Black community we don't support one another as well as we should. We don't rally behind each other as some other communities who rally around each other when there's a travesty, when there's a hurricane, when there's, you know, somebody who is out of work, you know, somebody need a job, somebody, you know what I'm saying, somebody hit a rough spot. You know, there's places in different communities where they bind as a community. They don't really look outside of it. They just do it here. And the thing that I respected what this person said, and I wish I could have wrote it down, you know, they talked about even if Shedeur didn't play football well, or even if he flamed out in Cleveland and flamed out anywhere else, that they will support him and whatever else he does. And you know what? That's called real support. Because oftentimes in sports, when we talk about support is only a one-way ticket. Support only comes when you good. Support is only there if you produce or put big numbers up. Support is only there one way, when you on top of the game and when you're doing certain things. And for me, I even look at it like this. You know, I look at a guy like Nick Chubb, who right now is probably one of the most beloved Cleveland Browns of all time. And I just look at the way I just don't like the ending of what the organization is doing. I understand it's a business, and I understand that you may not think that Nick Chubb is able to play at the level he once did. But at the end of the day, man, my man Quincy Carrier said on the other channel, give him a dignified ending to his career. I've always wanted one of those endings for people like the Baltimore Ravens did for Ray Lewis or Ed Reed, like the Pittsburgh Steelers do for their players, where those guys get to retire and retire and do they last year. They make sure that they're good, the core guys. And I just like, he's a free agent out there right now, no team, no nothing. I'm looking at it like, dang, bro, I wish the Browns would do right by him and just do what he needs to be done. But I thought that was a beautiful thing, because this individual expressed the fact that I'm not just supporting you on the field. I'm supporting you because I mess with you off the field and because you are a person. So a person that I care about. So I thought that was a great thing. And I think That's admirable because I think we need more of that in our communities. Let's continue on. Jarrett Richardson never won a championship since my mother was born in the 60s. Yes, that is correct. And hopefully we could get that taken care of if we get a franchise quarterback, which I think we might have. We might have something. Got to have that to get it done. We haven't got it right on the quarterback. We have not got it right in a lot of areas, but if Shedeur Sanders turns out to be something, we might have something. Don DH, my fellow Bobcat, always cooking. Shout out to you. Hey, I'm going to be down at OU. I'm going to go to the first game against West Virginia. I'm going to be down there cooking. So we're going to get that in. We appreciate all of the super chats. Let me get to this really quickly, too. Man, this show been going by so fast. It feels like I've been here for a long time. Let's get to this. Tom Pelissero, he talked about what it is, the plan, the reps for Shedeur Sanders, all that good stuff. And it spawned an interesting thought in my mind. What if these reps is actually coming down the pipeline? We know it.
The Browns quarterbacks during this offseason. This from the Herd with Colin Cowherd.
A lot of times when you're going through the spring and the way the teams structure their offseason programs, you're installing everything, right? Your process of OTAs and mini camp, it's a lot of install, and then there's some review as you get into mini camp week. Then you come all the way back to training camp and you do it again. So they're exposing him to a lot of different types of things here. They're exposing all the quarterbacks to different things. They're seeing how they react. I've said this consistently, Jason. I think that's the important thing to remember. Let's see how the reps are divided those first 2 to 3 weeks of training camp, and then up to and the week beyond the first preseason game. That's going to give you a much clearer picture of exactly where things stand. Is it going to be the chalk starter, which you have to say is Joe Flacco, again, based upon the experience that he's got in that system and they know what they're going to get for him? Do you potentially see somebody else starting to slip in and getting those first team reps? If you see it in training camp, that's going to be the clear indicator. But the fact that OTAs, Shedeur Sanders is not atop the depth chart, that shouldn't shock anybody, because regardless of what his name is, he's a 5th round pick, and those guys just don't get spring opportunities to show that they can run the ones.
Well, and G. Bush, everybody makes a lot out about this, and let them develop Shedeur Sanders the way they see fit. Let them work with him and put him, give him. They're gonna. You want a quarterback? I want a quarterback. Every fan wants a quarterback. Kevin Stefanski needs a quarterback more so than any of us, all of us combined. Let them give Sanders what he can handle when he can handle it.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying this before, and I know people is up in arms and people get excited about it. Trust me, when you get a guy like Shedeur Sanders and you think that maybe he was treated a little unfairly in the pre-draft situation, and you think he slid because of some of the narratives that were going around. I get it. But one thing that you got to understand is you can't microwave everything. Like we want to microwave everything to a point where it's like, if you're not getting no reps today, now mind you, we don't even know what kind of reps he's getting behind closed doors. Let's start with that. Second of all, it may work to his advantage that he's not getting first team reps, because if he was getting first team reps right now, I guarantee the reporting would be, hey, why is he getting first team reps? Everything would be about whether or not he deserves these reps. Is it a 5th round pick? Is he starting week 1? Listen, I run him behind closed doors, and whatever we was running back there, I give him time to get his feet under him and get his time to wrap his head around whatever is coming. And I promise you, people, I'm probably one of the biggest Shedeur Sanders supporters in the media. I wanted him at 2. I wanted him at 33. I think it's a blessing that we got him in the 5th round, and it's a skill to even have a guy that caliber. Here's the thing. He's going to get an opportunity. He's going to get an opportunity in preseason. He's going to get an opportunity in training camp. He's going to get an opportunity in some of these scrimmages with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. He's going to get an opportunity, and he's going to play in preseason games. And I do agree with what he said. Whatever they do in training camp is going to speak loudly in more volumes than whatever they do today. And Shedeur Sanders is happy. He's content. He's not running around causing a stink. He's not stirring up anything. He's taking the reps that they're giving him. He's doing what he can with those reps wherever it is. At the end of the day, it's all about a process. You only can do what's in front of you, and you only can take advantage of what opportunities you get. Everything's a small step. Small step here, small step here, small step here. And guess what? It's not the worst thing in the world if he don't start at the beginning of the season. Trust me, he's going to play sometime this year. Just know that. And it's up to him, and I think he'll capitalize off of it. But once you get your opportunity, then go out there and do it. No one will be able to say that they gave him a position, they were just trying to sell tickets or jerseys. If they start him off at this rate, he's going to have earned the position, and nobody can say anything to the contrary. So it's all good. I want to see him play just as bad as a lot of people do, but there's a process to things. And guess what? He's not bucking the process. He's not jumping around and being upset about it. So while we're waiting, I'll do the same thing. It's all about the evaluation. And I think, and that was courtesy of Sports for CLE. Make sure you check that out. And what I'm saying there is this, man. First of all, I always talk about faith on this show, this platform. And the Bible always says, be anxious for nothing. And sometimes it's the timing of everything. There's points in time where I wanted so badly to be a full-time host. I remember just being like, man, I'm like, bro, I feel like I done put the work in. I done interned for years for free. I drove hours to do what I do. And I feel like at points in time, I've been blatantly disrespected, even though I put up numbers, even though I put up the better content, even though I was the most hardworking, I was dismissed, shoved to the side. And it came to a point where I was in a car one day, and I was just sitting there, and I just broke down. I actually was in my car, and I broke down. And at the time, I had just went through a divorce. I was living in this crazy one-bedroom apartment. Like, I had like $5 in my pocket. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to put the $5 in my pocket or to put gas in my car. And I just remembered to myself sitting in my car, breaking down, crying. And I was asking God, why? What did I do wrong? And I was just like, I said, listen, I don't have no kids. I ain't never been in jail. I had a mom and a dad that really loved me. I'm a college graduate. I got 2 bachelor's degrees. I'm not out here in the streets. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't running around with a bunch of tattoos on my face. What am I doing? I had to ask God, what am I doing wrong? And he said to me clearly, which was crazy because, he will talk to you. He clearly said to me, he said, not that you're doing anything wrong. I'm preparing you. For what? Sitting on this couch with no money? He said, nah, one day all of the stuff that you had to go through will help you in the ultimate goal of what you need, but it's in due time. I didn't understand it at that point. It didn't get better. It wasn't a fairy tale after that. But as I look back at all those trials and tribulations and the jobs that people didn't give you, what it helped me understand was sometimes you got to do it yourself. And so all of the times when I did certain things, he said, stop looking for other people. Stop looking for other people to do stuff for you. If they don't want you to do it, build it yourself. I gave you those hardships. That's your experience level. Take what you learned at those places by working for free and use it to your advantage. And when you get your opportunity, kill it. Shedeur Sanders understands he's been at the lowest of low, right? But I also think he's settled. He's very mature. He understands what the game is. And he also understands his talent level. And the great thing about talent is when you have confidence in what you can do and you know what you can do, it's only a matter of time before you get that opportunity, and it's going to hit different. Sometimes you got to get held back just so your story can be crazy. Sometimes you got to go from the bottom so they can't say nothing. Yeah, I had 14 reps. Yeah, I was on the JV field over there. Yeah, I lost $40 million. Yeah, I was behind 2 veterans and another dude drafted ahead of me. Yeah, I know what all of y'all said. Guess what? You can't stop me. You can't stop my work ethic. You can't stop me staying after practice. You can't stop me showing up early. And when you putting that together, and when you got the backing and the support of people, and when you got God in your corner, and you really is working for it, no man can stop that. So at the end of the day, being anxious and of course, that's us. Like, you're on the outside, that's us. But when you're on the inside, you got to be the calm in the storm. Unfazed, unshaken, unmoved. And that's what all I see that he's doing at this point. So when the opportunity comes, you'll see. The opportunity is there. So, and then the great part is, it ain't nothing you can say or do, writing quotes or writing wherever you at, that can stop that. Nothing. Let's get back to the chat. We got in here. 1,900 people in here. Wherever you at, UCSS, hit me up. If you over here on the Barbershop, hit me up. If you on Facebook or Twitter, we salute you as well. If you don't know about the program, you're new to the program, we use G Bush in the building. Follow me at GBush91. We here every Saturday at 9 o'clock, and we kick it for about 2 hours here, and we talk that talk. Let's continue to cook. What we got? Let me pull this down. P. Rothstein says, the only 2 people from our local media that was sold on 12 from the beginning was G. Bush and Tony Rizzo. Everybody else was indifferent or didn't want him. We haven't had a good quarterback here since I was 14. I'm 49 years old. By the way, you know who also wanted Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback that you're probably talking about, Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar has always been high on Shedeur Sanders. And it's ironic that Bernie has such reverence in this town that people didn't listen to him. He talked about it early. Said, I know Prime. You know, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, when people were saying they didn't have nobody in this class, they was on it. They was on it. P. Rothstein, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's get to this. CW made. Joe Flacco passed the ball at OTAs. Oh, he's a lock for the starter. He has a rubber arm. Verse 12. Oh, it's none just OTAs. What did he prove? No hate. That is actually CW underscore made. I appreciate you for this. You know what my biggest pet peeve is? Is that. It's that. It's that. And let me get into it a little bit. And I appreciate you for the super chat. This is what irks me. And this is how I feel about it. I didn't play at the college level. I played Division I football at Ohio University. I played with multiple guys that went to the pros. Obviously, I work on UCSS. Dustin Fox is a pro. Tyvis Powell is a former pro. Obviously, we got Bernie Kosar. We got Leroy Horde on there. All the time. We've had Tim Couch. We've had Joe Thomas on. We've had DeQuell Jackson. So we have a bunch of pros on there. You know, when I can't remember his name. Now I'm tripping. We'll get to it. I don't want to mess it up. But the thing that gets me is, I used to play for military coaches, and we would be out there and we would be practicing. And the thing that annoys me so much is when people diminish the steps in the processes of football. And I understand that a lot of people don't understand it, and a lot of people have never done it. But you can't. I'm sorry. Listen, I got a profound respect for anybody who's played the game. You know why? Because I understand that at a very base level, they understand what determination, grit, pain, discomfort, just what it takes to go into playing the game of football. They've been hurt and been injured and have to take shots just to play. They know about having an injury that you got, where you got to play with an injury all year knowing you need surgery but can't tell nobody. They understand what those days are like when you spend more time in the training room than with your family because you need to get ice and treatment. So when people dismiss the day-to-day activities of football and what it takes to be a professional athlete or a professional football player, I'm sorry, it shouldn't bother me as much as it does sometimes, but it does. Because all I want to ask you is, when did you put your hand in the dirt? When were you tackling somebody at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's negative degrees outside, and your kids, it's so cold they didn't call it off school, but you outside tackling? We talk about people and they like the stuff that the Cleveland Cavaliers had injuries. The injuries that the Cleveland Cavaliers had in the playoffs, you would practice with if you were a football player. Your toe hurts? What you talking about, man? You got a dislocated thumb? I've dislocated or broken as a lineman. My rings don't fit. None of them. My wedding ring don't fit. I done broke every finger that I got on my hand. That's what it takes to be a champion. That's what it takes. That's bare minimum. So at least, even if I don't see eye to eye with a person, but I know what they know, that they've been on that line and conditioning in the gym, or they had to push their body to the maximum limit and then still lift them weights too, and then still go to class and then still come to practice. I'm not saying that you can't talk about the game if you haven't done that, but if you know, you know. It's levels to this. So when you diminishing, oh, well, listen, that practice doesn't count. The hell it don't. The hell it don't. All practice counts. And the fact that we live in a fantasy football arena where, oh, these are 7-on-7s and they're on air. My coach used to always say, either you getting better or you getting worse every single day. And I'm telling you, some of the people that get a chance to write about this stuff or have podcasts about this stuff, sometimes I'll be like, you're disqualified because you don't understand the basics. I can always look at a guy over there and say, he had to pay the same price I did. Everybody know what the price is. Pay the price that your body ain't never going to be right. Pay the price that you like, yeah, I took about 5 to 10 years off my life. That's why me and Tyvis, we can have arguments all you want, but I got a up top level respect for Tyvis and an up top level respect for Dustin, because at the end of the day, they know what it is to be dedicated, play injured, and have the mental capacity, the mental toughness to push your body to the limit. So even if I don't agree with what they said, I at least know they got a baseline. But for the people that was running around in school or regular life, writing notes and hanging out and drinking beer in college and just doing God knows what at the rec center, you and I, we not the same. You're just not. No different. No disrespect. I can't go to NASA. I can't pull up in NASA and say, let me see them blueprints for that rocket over there. You see that rocket over there, man? Y'all's thrusters up in here ain't hitting right. Why the angle of this thruster up here ain't looking good? Let me talk to the head engineer. What? Sir, if you don't, but we let everybody in the game. All you got to do is have a microphone and a fantasy football team and everybody in there. They let you write articles and everything. Don't got no prerequisites. And ain't never been in the dirt. Ain't never power clean. Ain't never lifted nothing. None of that. Come on now. Come on now. I'm just cooking. Why Jake and Mary Kay be hating on Sanders? We all see it. I don't know, dog. Some would say it might be hate. I don't know. I think it might be extreme skeptical of this. But I don't, listen, I can't psychoanalyze nobody. All I know is if I disagree with it, I just say I disagree with it. But big news, Dolphy, I appreciate the super chat. He said it, yeah, he had to double down. He said, I got to action twice, G. Bush. And JB hating on Shedeur. I don't know. Some would say they have awkward lines of questioning. I think Jay is just skeptical of everybody anyway. And he like Baker Mayfield. He's just super skeptical. Like Jay, like that you're gonna find a bunch of people that are so scarred by these quarterbacks that they don't believe nobody's good. If you think about it, we like who I ask people all the time, who do you like? Do you like anyone? Do you like any? Who's your favorite player? They're like Nick Chubb, but they ain't pounding the concrete for him to be playing right now. So it's kind of crazy about that, man. Do you, Gator FB, I appreciate the super chat. Do you believe the Browns will keep 4 quarterbacks going into September? No. What I think is going to happen is, in terms of the Browns, whatever veteran loses the job is going to either get cut or traded. I think Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are locked to make the team. And one of the things that I keep hearing people say over and over and over and over and over again, and it's flawed logic, it's wild, it's crazy. You keep saying, well, Shedeur is a 5th round pick. We all know that Shedeur on talent is not a 5th round pick. Stop saying he's not a regular 5th round pick. And stop saying if his last name wasn't Sanders. No, he's not a 5th round pick because of his talent and his skill set. Stop with all the extraness. I would, and let me throw this out there. If somebody didn't have the last name of Manning, he wouldn't be talked about like he is. The nerve of people talk about we're going to tank all year for Arch Manning, who's played 2 games. It's wild work. He's played twice. In high school, he never threw for 3,000 yards. But we supposed to lose all our games for Arch Manning? Why? Because you like his name? Why? Because he's a Manning? Like, miss me with all that if his last name wasn't stuff. If it wasn't last name Manning, you wouldn't be talking about him. He's played 2 games. And ask yourself this. Drew Aller was garbage in the college football playoff. He couldn't complete a pass, and Penn State took L's. But you telling me, oh, I'm going to tank for Drew out? Stop. And here's how you know people don't do their homework. Here's how you know people don't do their homework. Let me ask you a question. This is how you debunk this stuff. I'm going to give you the cheat sheet to how to debunk these conspiracy theories at quick. For everybody who tells you this, well, next year's class is going to be a much better class. When I ask people that, So what you mean next year's class gonna be a good class? This class, everyone says this is not a good class. This ain't a good class. This ain't a good class. Next year's class is good. Ask them then, well, which quarterback do you want? Well, I don't know specifically about the class. I've heard that it's just a much better class. It's it's just a much better class. I mean, all of the guys who are saying this is your job. It's your job. You're telling me you didn't watch it. You're telling me you didn't do any scouting on them. You don't have any opinion on their game. If I'm willing to suggest something as drastic as tanking games so that the Cleveland Browns can get said quarterback, don't you at least think that you should know who you would like to go after? Nope. They won't even do that. They won't even take the time and due diligence to go look at the guys that could be available. They can't give you the traits they like, why they should be there. It's easy. All of us have access to the all 22. Why don't you know who you want? See, that's what happens when you blindly just listen to people. Because everybody said this class was trash, and people blindly go with it and just regurgitate it. I found it funny that out of all of the times that the people talked about Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, they said, how many times you watch him? I didn't watch him. I watched Ohio State. You watch Ohio State on every Saturday. Didn't watch no Colorado games. Didn't watch no Miami games. You're not watching no tape on the quarterbacks that you said are going to be much better. You're not watching all 22 on any of them. Well, what are we doing? How can you have a valid opinion and you're blind? You're not doing nothing. I only watch Ohio State, or I only watch Notre Dame, or I'm not a college football fan. What? You can't make it up, people. You cannot. You cannot make this stuff up. Because last year, think about it like this. They told us last year before this class, Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers were top picks. Y'all didn't say that? Huh? Y'all didn't say that? You told me Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck was that deal. Where are they at? 7th round, and the other dude flamed out so bad he had to just turn around and go back to school. But now all of a sudden, this class ain't it. That wasn't the class. This class has been terrible. No. You told me before. Let's be clear about that. Y'all need to stop with this lie too. I got the film work where you said Jaden Daniels wasn't even that nice. I got the receipts on that. You multiple outlets. Jaden Daniels ain't even that nice. He's too slight a frame. He's gonna get broke up. He ain't gonna be running around doing all that. What happened to all them Jalen Hurts cats? Who said Jalen Hurts was the next deal? You gotta watch these dudes, man. You gotta watch them. They slick, bro. They just be having opinions, bro. I'm just telling you. That's why they be mad. They be in the DMs. And by the way, don't at me. I don't want nobody at me. No, y'all can at me, but I'm saying, I'm not talking about your favorite host. I'm not talking about your other favorite dudes. Don't hit me up. Talking about, are you talking about? Nope. I ain't giving nobody no publicity. Zero. I'm only talking about what G. Bush talking about. I'm standing on what I said. Moving right along. Right along. Yeah, Sean King, my guy. Sean, don't get mad. You my guy. You my guy, man. Sean King. I just be up too late. No one. I like that one. I like that name. No one. I like that. The podcasters do not understand that Shedeur fans do not become podcast fans, not just do not become podcast fans, not just team fans. I'm still a fan of some Colorado podcasts. Oh, listen, man, you entitled to support who you want to, man. Like, come on, man. You listen. Y'all can support whoever you want to. It ain't about that, man. Ain't no rules to this, man. There's no rules. That's what the game is. I can listen to this podcast. I can listen to that. I can do whatever I want to. There's no rules to fandom. Come on in. You know, maybe one day you'll become a diehard Browns fan. Sure, awesome. But if you don't, I mean, why would I listen, here's the thing. I am who I am. Unapologetically. What I do don't reflect on you. Like Jay-Z said it back, what you eat don't make me, you know. I mean, but you mad because you push dimes and he sell weight? Hey, you do whatever you want to, bro. Hopefully one day you become a Browns fan. If not, okay. If you just a fair weather guy, okay. It's all good. I ain't gonna stop my grind. I'm gonna stop what I do. I'm doing me. You do you. I salute to you. Where we at? Yep, XP Gaming, appreciate you. P. Rothstein says, Bernie Kosar is proof that all you need is a quarterback. That the University of Miami was garbage until Bernie kicked off, which was the start of the U. He was so good that Jim Kelly was his backup, and we didn't listen to him. You know, people get entrenched in a lot of stuff. P. Rothstein, people get entrenched into the way they think about certain things. And I've already said, like, you know, in our culture and what we are today, man, it's about who you identify with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's about who you identify with, and, you know, if they fit the mold that you're comfortable with. For me, I could care less. If Shedeur Sanders was a Martian and I thought he was nice, I would say he's nice. I just want to win. And I don't understand why it's the massive level of pushback when you know people. And I don't even think about it, Shedeur is his own self, because he doesn't really say anything. All he's just doing is going about his business. I think I've never understood why it irritated other grown men that somebody gets attention. So can somebody explain that to me? I don't ask why so-and-so is famous or why. I'm not enamored with that. Like, what does that matter for? Like, it seems like so many people are just so angry that Prime and, you know, look, Kim Kardashian get a lot of attention. Am I mad at it? No. It's the way of the world. It's capitalism, right? We said that Kevin Stefanski has never developed or liked the quarterback here in Cleveland. So let's now see if he can do it with Shedeur, but we have to be patient. I think it's imperative that Kevin Stefanski is out here proving that he can develop a young quarterback. Because let's talk about it. Baker Mayfield, flamed on it. Deshaun Watson, flamed on it. DTR, look kind of crazy, flamed on him. You've now taken two quarterbacks in this draft and got a veteran and another handpicked former first round pick. You can't be mad at that. You got to develop one of them. Don't be telling me about you don't got your guys, or you're running the offense, you got rid of Dorsey, you handpicked two quarterbacks, you got two more veterans, and you got a long track record to evaluate them. It looks like your offensive line is going to come back healthy. Conklin, shout out to DeJuan Jones, who's looking great, by the way. DeJuan Jones is looking great, by the way. You look like you might got a franchise offensive left tackle. I like what you got Let's see if you can develop one of them. Let's see. Yoshi Doshi, you should have Shady McCoy on. It will be fire. Shady McCoy. Somebody got his contact information. I love it. I'll tell you, listen, we can link up. Shout out to Shady McCoy. I'd love to have him on. At 12 starts, over 5, A, B, and D Podesta look bad. Follow the money. He has to start more than 5 games. He has to. I would be upset with not anything less than 8. Anything less than 8, I don't like it. I need him to start 8 games. Unless Joe Flacco is 6-2 going into the week 8. I mean, in that case, you ain't much you could do about it. Like, he's balling, teams in playoffs contention. You know what I'm saying? LJ says, I don't care if it's just OTAs. It's the audacity of some of these throws. Just as a football fan, these throws aren't routine. This ain't normal. That throw he threw in the back of the end zone, and you know good and well, somebody had the instant replay out. I ain't never seen the instant replay brought out for preseason. They had the camera phone out. Undisputed evidence. Someone who threw that challenge flag? They throw challenge flags at OTA, bro. The House of Silver and Gold. Only reason Shedeur is liked by blacks is of course he can push the Black Lives Matter movement. Bro, stop with that old talking point, bro. These chatbots with these old talking points. No, who keeps using Black Lives Matter? Stop. You got to find a new slogan. You got to find a new talking point. No one is triggered by Black Lives Matter comments anymore. No, nobody's triggered by that. The House of Silver and Gold is just a bot. Yeah, he's a bot. Y'all got to update y'all's bots, man. Update these chat bots. These chat bots is synced to 2016. These are 2016, 2017 bots. Y'all need to update that. Hey, y'all gotta step your game up, man. I'm just having fun, man. It's all fun because we just kicking in the barbershop. Morning coffee. Keep rising, G. Bush. Happy you overcame your adversities, and if you didn't know, you're Brown's #1 media for the streets. I appreciate you, man. That's what we talk about. That's what I like to see for the streets. We don't do nothing. I like it. Let's keep it pushing. Big LT. They didn't start saying those class wasn't good until Beck and other QBs didn't pan out. Facts. They wasn't saying all that extra stuff about how this class wasn't this and that. And this and that. Quinn Ewers looked mud. Carson Beck had to transfer. They said, oh, it's time for us to go ahead and throw that narrative on this class. We need to put a curtain on this one. Close this up. This done. For Arch Manning. I ain't never seen such crazy stuff in my life. Arch Manning. I don't know. And it'd be crazy. On one hand, they'll tell you, I ain't giving nobody nothing. You can't live off your family's name. But they let Arch Manning them do whatever they want to. They got mad at Prime for insinuating that he was going to do what the Mannings did that everybody applauded. How crazy is that? They got mad at Prime for even insinuating, alluding to, that he would think about doing what the Mannings did in real life. Make that make sense. How dare you even how dare you even think about doing that? I mean, somebody really did do that in real life. It happened. You do know that, right? Nobody, actually you applauded it. You'd agreed with it. You loved it. This is, hey, thank you. Hold on. Big LT. They mad at Shedeur, even though he didn't say it, for his father alluding to that he was going to do what John Elway already did. I'm old enough to remember John Elway saying, I ain't playing for nobody for the Baltimore Colts. You better stop playing. I remember, shout out to Bernie Kosar. I like to work the best way. Bernie Kosar said, I'm going to go to the supplement round and I'm playing in Cleveland. That's what it's going to be. This is my problem. This is your problem. You always complaining about you don't get no shows, but you can't be telling the truth like this all the time. Every week telling the truth. What's wrong with you? This not what the media is today. You better stop it, G-Boy. You better quit playing around. G. Bush, the crazy part is everybody is so stuck on the 5th round pick. I'm tired of it. They need to talk to the GOAT, Tom Brady, 6th round pick, and Purdy, 7th round pick. They did both great. Chantel, I agree. At what point, think about how dumb this will sound. G. Bush. Yeah. Let's talk to Garrett Bush. He's a Kent McKinley grad. And you're like, okay. But they keep introducing Garrett Bush. They're giving out your stat line. He had 5 sacks last week. You're like, is these guys trying to be funny? I'm here for an interview. At what point do you move on and you talk about what your merits are today? No one cares about what I did in high school or college, or for that matter, 2 years ago. As a matter of fact, in this business, people don't even care about what your last blog was because it's sports. Your last blog, your last article don't count because those are in real time. Once the Browns play another game or once the cycle ends and there's something else to talk about, whatever you did yesterday has no value. No one goes back and watches your old week 3 blogs because you know why? It's week 4. So why don't we take a note from what society does? Let's keep it pushing and talk about what he's doing now. Not where he was drafted, not why he fell to the 5th round, not why was it a mistake that did Coach Prime mess him up. How's about just accurately talking about what he's doing today? Just like everybody else in normal society does. I can guarantee you no one's going back to watch my blogs from a month ago prior to Shedeur being here. They're irrelevant. You could probably delete them. You know why? Because it's all about today. And we drafted him. He's been through rookie camp. What's mini camp? And I'm pretty sure when we get to training camp, no one's going to go back and watch these blogs either. So why don't we just stay in today? I think that would be easier. Chantel, thank you so much for the super chat. New Jack Spaz. We appreciate you, man. As always. Charles T, what I miss? Is there a natty champ in the next draft? I don't see. I like Lenore Sellers. I like him. I'm not a fan of Drew Aller. Nussmeier, I'm not a big fan. And look, I had to go back and look at these dudes. Like, let me check and see. Maybe I'm tripping. Let me because I swear I saw Penn State play 4 times. They keep mentioning Drew Aller. I don't know about Drew Aller on this one. Oh, Nussmeier. I don't know. Let me look and see what he. I'm just saying. Just saying. Z Bush, you are the underground king that has not been crowned. I have only seen one other quarterback in the NFL that had this much support behind before a game, and that was Mike Vick. Now, Mike Vick had it. Mike Vick, and Mike Vick, the only person that I know go to federal prison, come back and get another $100 million. That man spent his prime in jail. And by the way, he turned out to, listen, his story is a great story in general. The way he came back and rehabilitated himself and just what he's doing. He's now college football coach in Virginia and head coach, analyst for a long time. So, but, when you talk about somebody in your quarterback receiving support, I think it's important to say, and it's important to put it out there, is it's not like they're supporting him just because he's black or because he's this or that. They're supporting him. And I think the thing that's being missed is they're supporting him because he can play. They're supporting him because he's made big throws and he's elevated 2 programs. It's one of those things, and I always talk about this too. And we get to points and places, and I'll throw a bow on it. We get to points and places in our lives, right, where sometimes because you do have a personality, people want to diminish you in other areas where it's like you might not be smart or sharp or punctual or business minded or professional because you have charisma. And so sometimes when they're asking about the charismatic tendencies and their charismatic traits, I think people is subconsciously and a little bit diminishing the fact that he could play. He's here because he can play football. He can throw the football. He understands how to throw and spin it and do those different type things. And I think in general, a lot of people that support Shedeur Sanders, they're not asking you to tell him to say he's the greatest quarterback in the world right now. They're not asking for all that. All they want is the same level of respect that you give everybody else. The same level of respect that you have with Dillon Gabriel, because you seem to have a thing with Dillon Gabriel where you're not being as critical. There isn't a critical nature to it. If he throws an interception, you're not going crazy over it, nor should you. But there's none of these qualifiers with the rest of the quarterbacks. So Flacco could go 4 for 7, no touchdowns. You say he don't need the reps. Kenny Pickett could throw no touchdowns. You say it's not OTAs. It's just OTAs, don't matter. He's still in the league. Dillon Gabriel could get first team reps, and he has not looked better than Shedeur all camp. But yet and still, every comment with Shedeur comes with some level of shade in the beginning, followed up with some shade at the end. People just get tired of it. And so here's the thing. That gets old very quickly. And my suggestion to those individuals, if you feel like somebody is biased with their content, and that content is not informative, if that content is not informing you to the best of what really is going down with the quarterback competition or with the Browns in general, it's your right to move on and seek out other content, right? It's your ability and your right to go check out other stuff. So, at the end of the day, I know we talk about a lot, and a lot of times we gripe on it, and sometimes we get hype because of some things that people say. But I always say that you can seek out other options, or you continue to watch them, or you can continue to engage with them, and that's fine too. I'm not trying to get nobody's content cut off. All I'm saying is this: if you know the slant of what somebody is talking about, and that you're like, man, that's kind of weird. Why would you say that? Then chances are that commentary is not going to get any better. They're not going to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, you're right. Shedeur Sanders is next Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that's going to happen. The only way that's going to happen is when they see it on the field and in games and after a multitude of different things. But at the end of the day, that's their problem, not yours. With that being said, I want to thank everybody who came, showed up. Do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, put a comment in the comment section. I appreciate each and every one of you. And it's all about this. It's about this. And we're gonna watch the super chats before we get over here. It's about this. It's about, y'all might come for Colorado, but pull up in the barbershop. Everybody need haircuts. We got a couple more super chats here. Let me see. Couple more. Tez Esquire says, I saw an article yesterday that the New York Giants regret not taking 12. The article says that Jackson Dart isn't doing well in camp at all. Is this true? I've heard he struggled mightily. I've heard Jackson Dart has struggled. And I haven't watched them. I've seen some stuff on them, but I have heard that he is struggling. And that just goes to show you, it's a crapshoot. You know, that's the best part about playing. You can have somebody being wherever you want them to be, but you can't make them perform. So Jackson Dart got to stand on his own too, and the New York Giants got to stand on what they're doing. Because if they don't get it right, they drafted third for a reason too. Y'all wasn't good. Don't get fired, Brian Dable. While y'all running around talking about what Shedeur wasn't ready to do in camp. Like, stop. Y'all might want to worry about Jackson Dart. Get him up to speed. That's how we moving. Let's see. Charles C. So Sanders won awards last year. Gabriel went to the Natty and third place for the Heisman along with Cam. Did those quarterbacks play in 2024? If so, why are people hyping them more than this class? Woo. I'm glad I came back to check these super chats. Charles T, that was cold. That's how you get rid of talking points, my man. That was grade A USDA choice. Get them up out of here. So let me get this right. Gabriel went to the national. Gabriel went to the national. He played in the Big Ten, by the way. Made the college football playoff. Sanders won, I think, the Davey O'Brien Award. Most accurate quarterback in college football history. Along with Cam Ward, who came in third for the Heisman. And I do believe Nussmeier played. I do believe Drew Aller played. Lenore Sellers played. All of them played. These guys didn't just drop out of the sky like paratroopers and float to the earth. They were in the mix back then. And they were not as good as these quarterbacks then or now. So this projection that I'm getting, and the nastiest work is this. The nasty work is the beating you over the head with the Manning thing. I mean, 2 games, like this is how we doing. And it'd be funny because they be having so many mental gymnastics about who need to play and why they need to sit and learning the playbook. And they seen this boy play twice. Not boy, young man. They see this young man twice. I know. But we're going to lose all our games for him, though. Lose all them doggone games. No one. My comment was, Mr. Sir, I think the Cleveland media podcasters are short-sighted and not welcome Sanders fans. We become podcaster fans as well. Listen, shout out to you. And I agree with that. I've always said it like this. Like, I was talking to my dad. I was just like, at the end of the day, like, if you've listened to me, like, I think Zach Jackson was on. He said he sees a 0% chance of Dylan Gabriel becoming a starter. 0% chance. I haven't even said that. I haven't even went that hard because there's really no upside in going that hard. It's not really that. I mean, because first of all, I haven't seen him play. Second of all, I haven't seen what's going on with it. So it's kind of wild that, like, if we like, if I just come out and be definitive, like, yo, he's out of here, bro. I don't see why people see it on the opposite end of the spectrum. If you Shedeur Sanders, why, like, I mean, you don't got to be definitive on it. Just say, we're going to wait and see. And I do think this too. A lot of people who do come into the spaces and come into the Browns community, they become fans of specific podcasters, right? So you might not even be a fan of, you say, I'm here for Shedeur, but if you start watching different content, you'll start going to different content because you like the way that they present their content. So it's one of them things where you can make a fan out of somebody, right? Same people happy to see Vic fall, want 12 to fall. Lee, ooh, I tell you what. They said, what's the common denominator? Man, see, like, why you trying to get me in trouble at the end, man? Hey, listen, I like you, the devilish smile right there, Lee. You know what? I like it though. You just stay right in here at the end. Let me throw this one boy in. Oh, boy. You guys are crazy. This upcoming class was good. Why weren't they better than Cam, Sanders, and Gabriel in any stats, bowl games, anything? No. But then again, like we say, it's people's opinion. It's your opinion. Right? It's people's opinion. I would just like them to base it on something. I would like them to base it on something. My only gripe with the CU uncles and aunties is they shitting on Cleveland and the Browns, be mad at Mary Kay, Grossi, and Jay, but don't talk down on Browns fans. Here's the thing, though. So you gotta realize this. It goes both ways. I said this the other day. When we was going through the Deshaun Watson saga a couple of years ago, you would not believe the amount of crazy stuff Browns fans sent me because I said Deshaun Watson deserves due process. I didn't say nothing about he didn't do this, that, or the third. I said he deserves due process. And some Cleveland Browns fans was in my inbox going crazy. Here's the problem, and here's the point. Cleveland Browns fans are not a monolith. We are not one group of people. There are people that say wild stuff that identify as Browns fans, just like there are people who are really good Browns fans that stay in their lane, don't be doing no extra stuff, and don't be running around jumping in DMs saying really crazy, sometimes racist, sometimes borderline things that people get very angry about and would have a problem if they saw you in real life. So I can't be mad at on the Browns. Like they taking a crap on the Browns. Well, listen, just like they're saying, well, the national media took a crap on Shedeur Sanders, or the national media don't want Shedeur Sanders, or people keep saying about Shedeur Sanders. It go both ways. So, like, you can't expect somebody, if you're a Browns fan jumping in your inbox saying something wild, you can't expect people to say, well, I'm going to bow down to the Browns fans. Why? No, I'm a case-to-case person. I take you on face value. If you say you're a Browns fan, I judge you on what you say to me. There you go. Just because you like the same team as me don't mean we see eye to eye, or I like your rhetoric. That's just what it is. K Journey, I followed you on every platform because your opinion levels out to ignorant reporting, not sorry. My opinion, you are one of the best level-headed, logically thinking without hate. Salute. I appreciate you, K Journey. That's what I try to be. Some people think I'm emotional and do certain things, but I just try to come at it with a practical thought process. The practical thought process is, I'm not going to make you sit here. I don't know you, and you don't. Only thing you know of me is what I present from you. So it's my job to present something that makes you want to watch me, or want to watch the Browns, or want to. And I'm glad. Sometimes, look, you may have come in with a certain situation and I talk about the Browns. You say, you know what? You changed my mind about the Browns. You changed my mind about wanting to watch Browns game and be more invested because the way you broke it down. That's the goal. My goal is to bridge the gap. And if you take anything from this, my goal one day is to win a Super Bowl. And I think they got a franchise quarterback that will be able to do it. Our goal and my goal is to bridge the gap between two groups of people that I think could work together and make this thing a tremendous ride. Because we do need new people. We do need new, fresh ideas and people that are defiant. Because a lot of what we got right now, and we've been beaten so long that we've been apathetic about things. We're cynical about things. We think the world is coming to the end all the time. We've been laughed at. People point at us. They laugh at our jerseys. They laugh at the helmets. They laugh that we can't develop a quarterback. They laugh at all of us, right? And that makes us defensive a little bit. But what we need bold people to come in and say, psst, bump that. We're going to come to the stadium and turn this boy out. We're going to turn this joint out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be loud. We're going to be proud. We're going to be obnoxious. And hopefully we could be obnoxious against these other dudes like the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals. And I hope you come to dislike those teams in the AFC North just as much as me. But I'm not naive to the fact that it may take a little bit of time. And I got time. We got time. We got a little time. It's all about the relationship. Well, dang, y'all cats is killing it. Y'all killing it today. Hey, Journey, listen, I got you clipped up on my Twitter. My old Tail 82 don't even know how to use her Twitter correctly. I appreciate that. You did change my mind about the Browns. Got my jersey, Hate and Bitters, Tim's. Just need a jacket you be wearing, man. Man, that warms my doggone heart. I love that, man. I love that. One person at a time. You got to earn it. We earning people. We earning respect. We earning people. We earning new guys one person at a time. And I appreciate you so much for the super chat. We're going to continue to keep rocking and rolling over here. And the season is coming. Season is coming. Just think. You get that first touchdown. It's going to be nice. Gee, why does Ultimate Cleveland Podcast not have an X? We do. We got a Twitter at UCSS, at Ultimate Cle. Just search at Ultimate Cle, and it's on there. We got that. We got that. We got that. All right, I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in with us today. And as always, you never know where G. Bush is going to be at. Radio, television, internet. But if you want the fresh take on sports, you want the fresh cut, Barbershop is the place to be. Let us know. Let everybody know. And as always, you know how we give it up. Have a great rest of your weekend and go Browns. Peace.
Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barbershop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture, it's lifestyle, it's sports. And it's now the Barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at GBush91 on Twitter.